Lead has been mined and used in industry and household products for centuries. The dangers of lead toxicity, the clinical manifestation of which are known as plumbism, have been there since time immemorial. Lead interferes with a variety of body processes and is toxic to various organs and tissues, example, nervous system and reproductive system. It interferes with the development of nervous system and therefore the children are particularly affected by it, causing a permanent damage in their learning and behavioral patterns, clinical symptoms of which include abdominal pains, headache, anemia, and in severe cases, seizures, coma, and even death. The 20th century has seen the maximum of exposure of general population to lead toxicity, and also a lot of researches have been taken place on this topic. Today we have with us Dr. B. Dinesh Kumar, who is an eminent scientist from National Institute of Nutrition, who is going to elaborate on lead toxicity. Among the participants, we have people from different fields sitting with us for this discussion. I would like them to introduce themselves. Please introduce yourselves.
I'm Jyotsna. I'm teacher as well as homemaker.
Hello, I am Archana. I'm a doctor.
Hi, I'm Clarence from the software field and my hobby is interior designing as well.
I'm Sivakiran. I'm a teacher as well as a parent.
I'm Dr. Ratna, basically a scientist, a chemist, and I run an NGO in science.
I'm Vani, I'm a teacher.
I'm Nagalakshmi Tulsi, I'm a teacher.
Lead poisoning is one of the worst environmental form of pollution which we are facing today. So knowing the hazards of lead pollution and lead products which we are using today, will the lead usage will continue? Can we do something to ban this usage of lead?
Lead usage cannot be banned because the use of lead is very common, and it has an industrial application, medical application, diagnostic application. It has a use in a paint industry and many industries. If I just give a brief about it, why lead poisoning is considered as universal. The lead poisoning is present all over the globe. You don't think that it is pertaining to India or to this specific place, because lead has a versatile use. If I tell you the lead use is from the fetal monitors to the fiber optics, you imagine from fetal monitors to fiber optics. Second most important, the computers, glass which we are watching, these luxuries, would you like to just sacrifice? No, you cannot. Therefore, lead also cannot be taken out from this thing. If I just give you a picture how the lead production is taken place, the lead production in America is 33%, Africa 2%, other Asian countries is 33%. In fact, India and the place where we are residing, Hyderabad, is one of the 99% pure grade lead is manufactured from this place. If you look at the consumption of lead is very high. 70 to 80% of the lead is consumed for the batteries. That means lead acid batteries, pentose batteries, or your charger batteries, or computer batteries, soldering, paints, then doll paintings, then making the necklaces of artificial nature, because it is a very soft and having a good melting point, we can mold the lead anywhere we want it. That is why the lead consumption is very versatile.
If the battery is disposed on the land, what happens to the environment, sir?
The people are not surrendering their car batteries back to the place from where they are purchasing, and they are throwing the lead into the soil. Any nearby area, the soil takes the lead very nicely, and the plants or inhabitants which are there, they have a very good habit of uptaking the lead from the soil, and it comes again into the food chain cycle. Once it comes to the food chain cycle, it comes into the body, and lead is very hazardous and it has a lot of subclinical toxicity.
Can you enumerate what are the different sources of lead pollution and how does this lead enter a body?
If you look at it, the dust and soil, it contributes 55%. Building demolition when take place, lot of fumes come and they are inhaled, and this labor children, they know they inhale directly the lead, and that is why one of the reason we consider that 55% of the lead is absorbed because of the dust and soil. Then food, which contributes is a 20%. Then air, it is 15%. Now, air, one advantage we have is that this petrol which is been there, gasoline, which will be added with a lead because of the increasing the carbon number. That means, there should be anti-knock effect of this lead, and the other sources are water and 10% some other sources, water and other sources.
Recently, there is a media report
Yes, sir.
on toys being the major source of lead toxicity.
Yeah.
Can you please explain?
The dolls, definitely they will have lead, arsenic, phthalates and other substances, because they add to the toys as a pigment. Until there is pigment, no color will come to the toy.
So, can you elaborate on the effects of lead poisoning
Yeah.
on different parts of our body?
How the lead is absorbed? First you understand, then only you will know what are the toxic effects of the lead. Lead is absorbed from all the roots, no root, by skin, by inhalation, by oral route. The skin is because wherever you walk and this thing, the dust and particles, they accumulate on your skin or on your hair. That is why we say that hair is the best way to measure how much exposure has taken place. Why? The skin has lot of capillaries, blood, there is a high circulation of blood, and lead has a character to bind to the hemoglobin. As a result, it becomes a very good source. Second source is that inhalation. Inhalation means 50 to 70% of the lead is inhaled. Inhale, whenever you are doing a painting someplace, the painter, you will get a specific smell. Many people like the smell. That is again a smell which we like it, and that is how we get inhale. Then the vehicles, polluted vehicles, where they emit lot of lead. Of course, now the unleaded gasolines have come into the market. Then another is oral. Oral route, what actually one of the audience have asked is about the sucking of the wall, and then there are certain specific type of containers. These containers will also have a lead coating, because they put lead coating to have a non-corrosive effect, and the children will be just going and taking the food substances from this. So, many unorganized sectors are there who manufacture different type of foods, and they keep it in a tin which may not be actually tested properly. Secondly, remember that lead bioaccumulates. I am telling you, bioaccumulates. That means lead goes into the body and stays in the body. The sources of bone, teeth, nails and hair. That is why we say precautions to wash the hands properly. Then it does not degrade. Lead will never degrade, like plastics never degrade, lead will never degrade. Binds to several proteins. That is why I am telling you, once they are bind to the proteins, that means they are present in the body.
Is it a public health issue?
Yeah, it is a major public health issue, and in America CDC has made it as a public health issue, and they have taken it very strongly, and they have reduced their blood lead levels in the children to it drastically. In India, now we have just started, and we have started screening it.
How does it affect our general health?
First of all, then once the lead is inhaled into the body, absorbed into the body, then what happens, the major part of the lead, that means something like a 4% of the lead goes to your brain, because lead has no barrier. When the fetus is growing, there is a placenta cord. Placenta is a very good barrier. It does not allow many substances to go to the exposure, but lead will bypass even that barrier. Same way brain has some barrier. That barrier is not applicable to lead. It can just pass to the brain. Then 1% of the blood, 1% of the lead which is there, it is already present in a circulation for 25 days. So, imagine 4% stays in a liver for 40 days, 1% stays in a kidney, then 95% of the lead whatever is, it goes and accumulates in a bone. In subclinical toxicity, the system in the body system which has certain metabolic pathways by which you are able to work, like if you go to a mitochondria, to get a energy in mitochondria, so many processes take place. Same way the hemoglobin, to form a hemoglobin in the body, we have one procedure. That means two molecules of some two amino acids come together, then they will form a protein. This protein will form a hemoglobin, and this hemoglobin formation requires lot of enzyme. The lead has a character to go and inhibit those steps, As a result, the hemoglobin formation is restricted, but this anemia you can see only when there is a clear cut demarcated lead toxicity there.
Could you just tell me who are the vulnerable group apart from children?
Children, first of all I will not even tell children, it is the fetus, pregnant women, children, occupationally exposed population and the people who are staying near the industrial effluent areas.
Since there is a lot of issue on subclinical toxicity,
Yeah.
then are there any specific tests to detect it?
Yes. Now we have started putting the biomarkers. I will just tell you the best way to assess the extent of lead toxicity is by determining the blood lead level. Previously it was a dental lead levels, before that it was a hair lead levels, all those have become obsolete. Now we have a very good equipments. If you see the equipments like a field equipment is there, that means if I go to the field I have a field type of a paper which is a aram paper, and on this I take a blood sample spot and I can tell you a lead value. Same way we have a lead analyzer, that is again a CDC recommended lead analyzer. Now atomic absorptions. So we have developed a technology to detect even a nanograms to picogram lead levels inside the body. So lead best biomarker is estimation of a lead. Second biomarker is one enzyme that is called as a delta aminoleucinic dehydratase, which is responsible for making a hemoglobin, that is the second enzyme. To detect the kidney functions, we have an enzyme, that enzyme is called as a urinary NAG, that is present in the lysosomes. Kidney, blood, and third is a nervous system. Most important is nervous system. To detect the neuronal damage is very difficult task, because the child, the day it develops the neural functions, that means brain development take place, at that time there are receptors called as a IP3 receptors. These IP3 receptors are known to cognate. If this cognition does not take place, the lead goes and attack and stays inside this IP3 receptor, it will not allow to cognate. As a result, there is an intelligent or a IQ level scoring comes down.
Okay.
That is why the most people say that more the exposure to the lead, more the intelligence come down.
Okay.
Are the tests costly?
Yes. For example, if I want to do a field blood lead level test, it is 800 rupees. Now it is a time that we have to really think about it and develop our own lead values. We do not have our own standard lead values, and it is expensive test. Now this lead analyzer we can make to 300 rupees.
Thank you.
Government is working on these lines.
So are there any case studies in regard to this?
Yeah. In fact, my group along with my department, and there are 3 or 4 active groups in complete India. One is from St. John's, Bangalore, one is from NIN Hyderabad, one is NIOH Ahmedabad, and in AIMS a little small groups are there, and in one group in Bombay IITs. We do contact and we have a data basis of various population groups. Like our group is like garage mechanics.
Okay.
First we targeted a garage mechanics. Why? Because the garage mechanics, they were using the leaded gasoline. So they take out the by
Using
mouth.
the mouth, they suck
As
it
a
out
result,
and
they
take it
would
out.
like to clean the
Right.
carburetor.
Yes, right.
And the major problem is that the mechanic will not do, make the child to do. And you can just see the last epidemic data says majority of the mechanics will have a problem of blood pressure
Okay.
and a renal failure.
Okay.
But we cannot directly attribute it is because of lead, but one of the factor is lead. Same way monocasters. One advantage monocaster is that previously we used to have no computers, we used to have a metal pieces that used to be typed. Yet a person monocaster used to type and the piece of the metal used to come and it get assembled. And that is how your press media reports or gadgets used to come. Now of the late this system has become obsolete.
Okay.
So there is some intervention has happened in that way. Same way battery employees. Battery employees are the most badly affected because they are the people who are working in unorganized sectors.
All right.
They need lot of attention. Then our general population itself is having a 20 microgram of lead, but this is the figure of 2002. The current figures have come down drastically. Then pregnant women. then the traffic personnel. If we all are having all these things. In fact, I can tell you one good example what our institute has done. This vehicular pollution makes an impact. Yes, it makes impact. How we have taken a zones, that means the traffic zones like no traffic zone, average traffic zone and high traffic zone. Like you take a Sikandrabad area, heavy traffic zone, RTC crossroad, heavy traffic zone. The children who are studying in that school are having a lead levels more than 30, 20 micrograms.
Because of the school being on the road.
Yes, exactly,
right.
emissions.
Okay.
And the same way, if you come to no traffic zone, we have gone to a rural areas also, where 6 microgram, 4 microgram, some children we are happy that no lead levels were present, because it is a rural area where the vehicular pollution itself is not there. So it is very interesting that how the emission makes the impact. And another incident, one of the important stories which I can tell you is Dadra Nagar Haveli, Bombay. Dadra Nagar Haveli, Bombay, they are having one industry. That industry emits lot of smoke, and that smoke coming out because they recycle the lead tins, lead bottles, and they make the big blocks, and these big blocks are stored, and there is a river. That river actually passes under this, and these blocks are getting exposed to it, and whichever the crop which is growing near that area, all crops are having a high lead level. And lot of cattle death took place because of the intake of this plant. So you imagine food chain cycle, how a lead and a food chain cycle makes an impact. This area which I am just referring to it, if it is a very clear cut area, wherever the children are residing near the factory, where the pollution is there, their hemoglobin levels were low, their lead levels were very high. That means the lead has literally made an impact on the child.
Doctor, nowadays petrol is available without lead.
Yes.
Do you think that petrol still has lead or not?
You see, in major urban areas from 2000 onwards, first phase they have taken out the lead. The second phase has started from 2002, that is from rural areas, because our vehicular system which is there, it needs lead, otherwise our vehicle system has to be changed, which is an expensive this thing. Now there are no fuel which has a lead, it is an unleaded fuel. Blood lead levels, when we have done before the introduction of this intervention program, at that time we used to see that 50 microgram lead levels were present in a population of something like 30%. Now in 2005, the same figure has come down to something like 14 or 12%. That means the impact of intervention of bringing unleaded petrol, how much the lead levels have come down in atmosphere is the best example. So intervention is required.
What are the signs and symptoms of lead toxicity?
Yeah, acute toxicity, I told you very clearly that vomiting, metallic taste, constipation, body pains, tremors, these are all the things, but that is very rare. When coming to the chronic poisoning, you can just see paleness, these are all, and lead line, gum line, that is the first sign which you can see by the clinical manifestation. Then edema in the leg, all those things are there. Then hypertension is there, but it is a controversial subject. It is not only because of lead, some other factors are also playing an important role.
What is the toxic level of lead in the different age groups, and
good question.
how do we treat them?
In India, we are considering still that 10 microgram per deciliter of blood lead level in children is considered to be normal level. That means not beyond 10 microgram. First of all, lead is not a required essential element in the body. Then coming to the adult, it is between 18 to 22.
Okay.
Any adult, 18 to 22. Occupational group, they can go up to 30.
Okay.
Because their job is there. And once they cross 30, occupational group will be automatically taken out from the place of work, and they will be given some other work on rotation. But in case of children, if they are going above 10, we have every chance to do a nutritional intervention. That means in India, the problem is even our nutrition is a problem, because vitamin deficiency, iron deficiency, calcium deficiency, zinc deficiency aggravates the lead toxicity. So supplementation of these things will definitely make a child better. If it is crossing beyond 20 microgram, we have to go for a chelation therapy, dimercaptosuccinic acid, then EDTA, like this.
For every abnormality, we tend to take some medicines, but some recent reports have indicated that lead is being used in some medicines, particularly Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
How does it? help us or not?
Lead is called as a sesame in Ayurvedic literature or in Siddha. Siddha is one of the system where the lead is commonly used to make certain bhasmas, which is called as a herbo mineral preparations. But there is a procedure for making these bhasmas. The procedure is laid down something like 2000 years back. The procedure is that it has to be kept under certain specific temperatures. Then it has to be washed with specific type of plant which has a milk. These traditional procedures are very long, and based on the tradition the final product is prepared. Of the late, so many things have come and there is no check, and the substandard quality preparations have started coming into the market, and the lead levels are also present. That is a fact, and this is actually making the problem for the everybody. Now we have introduced a law that as per the new schedule Y of the DCGI of Ayurvedic drugs, we have to supposed to check heavy metal concentration in all Ayurvedic medicines which are marketed.
So, in the process of this discussion, we have come to know that lead is an inevitable part of our lives.
Yes.
So, we have to bear with it and we have to live with it.
Yeah.
So, are there some precautions you can tell us which we can follow and then we can be saved a little bit from this toxicity of lead?
The government has successfully able to remove the lead from the automobile, this thing. That is one of the major successful intervention stories of this government. Then second is that our battery units which are there now, for example, manufacturing industries which are there in and around any of the industrial belt, the lead manufacturing units have been asked to set up their units somewhere there is no population in something like 1000 meters of area.
So, in a remote area they
have to do it. And the population who are the employees who are working there, these employees are supposed to be given sufficient amount of milk, calcium, and precautionary guards and all those things, because lead is known to induce the infertility. That is also one of the major facts, and that is how they are taking. Now coming to the green campaign, which has started, that please educate wherever the battery is there, throw the battery carefully or inform that this is a battery and put it in a separate bag and try to hand over to the stores.
Regarding the pollution caused by the ingredients of the paint like lead oxide, in the unorganized sector, what happens, it is the entire work and entire process is taking place in an open place, and whatever emissions are there, that will pollute the air, and that causes a very bad effect on the society itself, which even starts from the diseases like your asthma to even cancer also. Therefore, in the organized sector,